Well, hey there.
Hey there.
We're a couple minutes early, so we'll give it a couple minutes. We got a few people on there already. Let us know who you are and where are you from?
All right.
How's everybody's weekend?
Everybody ready for Valentine's Day?
Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, well. So what are we going to talk about today, Mr. Neal?
We are going to talk about a traditionally sweet, candy, sugar heavy holiday. And we're going to talk about how, if you're on a PhD, a proper human diet, a proper human lifestyle, how can you circumnavigate the challenges that come along with that?
Especially when you're living with somebody who may not be PhD, and that may not be on a carnivore diet or may not be on a keto diet, or you're going to a gathering with some friends and they're not on the same journey as you are. That's for sure. That's for sure. Can y'all hear us okay? I have the headset on because I can't hear nothing.
I'm going to say yes because that just showed up.
All right.
All right. Who have we got? Who's in here? Susan, thank you so much. Loud and clear.
Good. Very
says
good.
the deaf girl.
I am very loud. I apologize in advance. So I figured if the louder I get, the more y'all hear me. That's really not how it works for a deaf girl like me. But with that being said,
let's do this.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'll kind of just get a start on a couple years ago, before I had my bariatric surgery. One of my favorite things was being loaded up with chocolate. I am I was one of those girls, take me out for a nice expensive dinner. I'm not a flower girl. Can't keep flowers alive to save my life.
Here, hey babe, let me show you how much I love you. Here's a dead plant.
Yeah.
I've never understood that.
But it is so funny because, my mom loves flowers. My mother-in-law loves flowers. I can't keep them alive to save my life. I had a girlfriend, I kid you not, she gave me a prayer plant. She's like, "You can't kill this." She said, You really can't kill this. It was dead 3 weeks later. She said, "You can't overwater it, you can't underwater it." And it was dead. And she goes, "Girl."
And you took that as a challenge.
I did. She said, "Girl, you definitely need some prayers. May God be with you." And I was like, "Ah."
So let's ask. We got a few more people on here. Who out there? Do you like? It's a poll. Do you like getting flowers? Do you like receiving flowers, or do you like the idea of receiving flowers?
How about you, babe?
I do not like flowers. Well, and that's first off, I'm a dude. Second off is, I grew up with bad allergies, terrible allergies. And you could say flower, you could say, mow the grass, and I just start to break out. I will say that after a PhD and after a lot of metabolic healing, that guess what? My allergies are all but gone.
Honestly, we used to have a pharmaceutical stock. I don't know about y'all, but we used to have a stock of allergy medicines of every kind because he had to take certain ones at certain times of the year. And so the CVS, the local CVS that we were going to, or the Walgreens. I forget which one it was, but they were like, "You're back already?" And I'm like, "We're out."
Okay, you guys know how if you want to get like, Sudafed or some kind of you gotta they don't keep it out there. It's behind the counter now. That might be because of me. I'm just saying.
But we're so grateful now because we rarely have to buy that anymore. We do keep it on hand for every now and again because we live up in the mountains, and I tell you, the weather is different it's like Marion is different than Asheville, and
There is a mountain in between us, so that makes a difference.
yeah, it does seem to make a difference. So, but we rarely take it, and if we can avoid it, we will. My go-to is usually, um, I do raw ginger. I just grate as much as I could stand in a cup. I just add a little bit of honey and then, real lemon juice, and I pour hot water over that, and that usually helps with, like, the sore throat, the nasal congestion going on, and I just sip that all day long, just hot water, and that came from a doctor that I have tremendous respect for to this day. She worked in gastro, so she's one of my favorite people that I will like, "What do I need to do?" But
And keep that in mind because, we got Valentine's Day and right around the corner, the seasons are changing. They're changing already. It was, 17 degrees here about a week ago, and it was 68 today.
it was
So,
hot. Ugh.
so who knows? Now, what do you do if so, and I love that. Who was it? Marcia said, what about succulents? Well, the little Lego succulents, yeah, we can do those.
I could
The,
do that.
the
I could keep
plastic
that
ones.
alive.
Yeah, but the idea of getting something, which leads us to the point of it's traditionally known as a sweets, heart-shaped box of chocolates and going out for the romantic dinner, spend second engagement ring, spend 8 times your paycheck for one meal, and hopefully you don't argue through it.
And hopefully you get good service. That's
Right.
the other thing I noticed about the Valentine's holiday is that when you go out, sometimes you don't get the greatest service or the food isn't the greatest. So we just don't. In the decade that over the decade that we've been together, we have not gone out for Valentine's Day. I think, well, maybe once. I think
Maybe
we went to
once.
the Mexican restaurant in Johnson City, and it was the one day that we had to ourselves. And so we took advantage of it, and I remember thinking, "I'm never doing this a holiday again," 'cause the wait was forever,
Right.
and then when we got our food, it was cold. I was so disappointed. So we just kinda make a game of it for Valentine's Day for us.
Yeah. Now we haven't tried Waffle House for Valentine because they do the table linens and all that, but I can't convince her. Nonetheless, so it's traditionally a sweets holiday and a blow your paycheck kind of holiday, but especially for people that are on a proper human diet, and let me just go ahead and say a proper human lifestyle because it's so much more than just the food that you put in your mouth. It starts there,
Right.
but if you don't look at activity and exercise, rest and sleep, and mindset and behavior, those are all equal elements of the picture. So let's look at the paradigm and let's shift our focus a little bit. That's why I asked about, do you like flowers, the plant? Do you like receiving a dead plant, or do you like the idea of being recognized, a sign of affection? If you read Gary Chapman, 5 Love Language, do you like receiving gifts? Do you like giving gifts? Things
Quality
like
time.
quality time. Things like that play just as important a factor. It very often is going to be less the thing that you're presenting as the fact that I love you. I am presenting this to you as a token of my affection, as cheesy as that sounds, but as a symbol of my affection. That's what this day is about. And if you really want to do a deep dive, go to thehistorychannel.com and look up both the Catholic as well as the pagan origins of Valentine's Day. It'll blow your mind. But I digress.
Yeah,
But the
I
idea,
listened to him this morning about that. I was like, ah,
but the point is, maybe there's something that's not candy. Maybe it doesn't come in a heart-shaped box that you can offer as a symbol. Maybe it's quality time. Maybe it isn't going out to the expensive restaurant. And well, I'm just going to order me a ribeye. Uh, okay, there, Hot Wheels. Okay, there, Ken Berry. I get it. But what if, rather than getting all the stress and get your cortisol up and you fight or flight, I'm ready to fight. What if you stayed home or went out, maybe not to the fanciest place, and you spent some quality time? So what we want to do is just run through a couple of quick ideas, maybe just get you thinking. There's still time, and you can cancel your reservation if you need to. But things like, we went to a Mexican restaurant that wasn't even any good, but we like spending time together without kids around. There's a tip. And one thing I know my wife. I know that she likes to have a nice, low key coffee date where we talk about anything but the kids and anything but work, and we just talk, and it's a date night, a date day. And that's the other thing. It doesn't have to be at night either. It can be during the day.
that's the fun part. That's another thing you could do is like do a morning date. Like before work, go have some coffee together and get ready. You feel good, you feel pretty, and then or you feel handsome and smell
I feel
good,
pretty.
and then just have some coffee together in the morning before work, or catch each other at lunch if you're able to.
Before we moved to North Carolina, for our anniversary, we would go out to Waffle House and get us some scrambled eggs and some coffee, and just that was our thing. The idea is make it special. A couples massage, that's a good one. Quality time. Oh, diffusing essential oils. Yes, we've done that too.
Phase 10.
Yeah. How about this? How about play a game?
I like kicking his butt at Phase 10. We play Phase 10 for fun.
Oh, it's not just for fun. It's a challenge. But find something that you can do together. And now, that's part of the behavioral side of things, the mindset, that it doesn't have to be food. It could literally be anything. It could be going for a walk, long walks on the beach. There's something to that. And if you want to go all sciencey on it, you can look at the how it affects your brain. You can look at the oh my gosh, it just escaped me. The love hormone, Marcia. What's that love hormone? Oh my gosh, it's right there.
Dopamine?
Oxytocin. If you want to look into the release of all that, but don't overcomplicate things. Know your spouse, your significant other, whomever it is, and just spend some time with them and do things that they want to do, not so much what you want to do, because this is Valentine's Day after all. And I know that she loves going on a nice, gentle coffee date, maybe stroll around a downtown area, look at some shops, do window shopping. So keep that all in mind. And we say this to each other, to our kids, to our church group, to everybody. As you approach a decision, X yourself out of the equation. Then what should you do? That makes your decisions a lot more clear. But there's going to be times we have to eat. We're human beings. Food is going to be involved at some point. How can we navigate that? How can we, we're going to go do the nice frou-frou, lovey-dovey, googly eyes event.
Mm-hmm.
But if food's involved, what do we do?
Well, there's a bunch of ideas. I like tonight, my love language to Lexi, well, Neil loves it too. One of his things that he loves is that when I make something new that is, proper human diet journey style, and then I start, creating things, and like tonight I made homemade Caesar salad or Caesar dressing, and that is something that the family's going through right now. So instead of buying a bottle for $8, I just made it. I figured out the ingredients and I made it. And then I made, like spaghetti. So you could do meals. Or another great thing that he really loves is appetizer night.
Mm-hmm.
Or the charcuterie board, do different kinds of cheeses. You could do, you know, pepperoni, salami. He loves liverwurst. So putting all the
Remember, now liverwurst, to me, that's my bougie bologna.
It is his bougie bologna. So doing all kinds of like the charcuterie board and just sitting outside. He loves to be by the fire when it's freezing cold outside.
Not so much.
And he wants to be outside. I'm like, I have 2 blankets out there. I'm put on 2 different outfits on top of each other, and we'll just go out there. So those are some ideas. And if you want to do like a meal, do a fun meal, do one together. Like we have found that if we do it, if we're not in a hurry and then we make a meal together, we have a lot of fun doing it. And we joke around, hey, how's that coming? And then we taste it around and figure, oh, let's add this, let's add that. Make it fun. Don't make it stressful. Do the dishes together. I really appreciate it. I'll wash, he'll dry and put away. And that works for us. I have friends whose husbands will wash, dry, and clean the entire kitchen because their wives or their spouses have cooked the meal and the other one will do all that. We just kind of do everything together. That's a great way to do it. Game night is good. I mentioned the charcuterie board and maybe a movie. Doing all of that. I have girlfriends that love baskets full of goodies. You could do a basket full of goodies and just make them more personable to the proper human diet. And we'll give you some ideas on that.
Now here, Sean, I feel you. I do. I really do. But you know what? There's options for that too. Look up Dr. Robert Kiltz, and he has a recipe for some keto ice cream. Now this is, we're getting to some dangerous territory here, where you say, well, that's keto ice cream, or that's a look-alike recipe. And why do I say that's dangerous? Because some of these recipes are pretty stinking good. I know Kim Howerton also has a recipe for some, keto-friendly ice cream. Here's the danger. It's keto-friendly. It's okay as the very occasional once-in-a-blue-moon treat. But if once in a blue moon is every night or every other night, then you're going to run into a problem. You're going to have carb creep. And that's the same thing as, a lot of other look-alike recipes. She makes a great substitute for cheesecake. I love cheesecake. But she talked with Coach Paola, and we got a recipe for, what's the fancy name?
I don't know if I'm saying it right. I'm going to say Galapita.
It's like a milk pie. Oh my gosh.
Oh, it is so good, y'all.
But it's still an occasional treat.
It is.
But it's so good.
And it was made with sheep. Instead of like goat cheese, it was sheep cheese. I'm telling y'all, and it doesn't have that much sugar. It is absolutely fabulous. So,
and that's another thing. Learning how to substitute. I was doing an interview earlier with Coach Becca Bavery, and we were talking, and these two are going to be getting together doing some recipe stuff here in the near future. But yeah, she said, you don't have to always just go Google a recipe, go do a search for a recipe. You don't have to have scores of keto and carnivore recipe books. You can have a few, and that you have to start somewhere, and that's great. But over time, you're going to learn, okay, well, if I substitute that for that, the macros change this way.
Right.
And you'll be able to eventually take a old school Better Homes and Gardens recipe book and learn and just know, okay, I can ketofy this by doing this, 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 and this. And the macros are going to be right about here. But again, this is an occasional thing. This is not an everyday thing. This is a special occasion. This is, Valentine's Day. This is Thanksgiving, Christmas, for a special occasion, anniversary, because you want to stay as on track as you can. And here's what we don't want you to get off track by a lookalike, by a wolf in sheep's clothing. So just keep that in mind. Now, what are some things that people can look for? Well, let's ask the folks that are on. What are some keto-fied recipes that you like, or maybe what are some of your hacks that you use to kind of keto-fi a recipe?
I will say one of the ones that I was asked a few weeks ago, and I'm getting ready to do a video, is pork belly. So
You had me at pork belly.
I did. I had him at pork belly, and it was my goal to do that for Valentine's Day for him. We do have it in the freezer because we got a great deal at Costco's. I mean, it was a ton. I don't even remember. I just remember thinking, "Oh my gosh, it is so much cheaper at Costco." So I just bought several of it, and I just cut it up, and so that I can separate it up a little bit. But I am gonna do, a video on pork belly 'cause, a really good friend of mine, my daughter's girlfriend, had asked me to do a video on it to make it a little bit easier, and I'll do that. So I know pork belly is a good one, and it's can be pretty cheap, cheaper than a ribeye steak, but it's still very, very good. So that would be one of the keto-fied recipes.
And just as an aside, ribeyes, they can be pricey. Some of those cuts of meat can get up there. I will say this. I've said it before. I'll keep saying it. Chuck roast is the soccer mom of beef cuts, because you can cut that into a steak. You can put it into a instant pot or a slow cook. There's so many things you can do with chuck. And I know Laura Spath has a couple of videos on her YouTube channel just about all the things you can do with chuck roast. So keep that in mind. Now, what's something that we do as far as a keto substitute? What's my go-to if I got to make a dish for, say, Thanksgiving or Christmas? What's my go-to?
Sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes.
Yeah. And there's no potatoes in it, y'all. It really does taste like sweet potato.
And, we like to do an ambush, potluck where we don't tell them it's keto.
Hold up. I don't like to ambush anybody.
I do.
He does.
It's fun. What are you grabbed a few things. What do we have in this grab bag here? What are some things that we can suggest to these folks?
All right. So some of the things I just found these the other week. Okay. When I'm starting to go through a chip phase, or I'm just wanting a chip, so instead of eating like chips, I found these. Y'all, they're not the best ingredients, but it's the next best option compared to what I would eat, like Cheetos or Lay's chips. This is really good. They have different flavors. They had one that's called chicken and waffles. It tastes like chicken and waffles, but there's all kinds of flavors. So this is made out of chicken.
Now, here's something important. How many ingredients are in there, roughly? This is important.
Less than 20.
Less than 20, but more than 5?
Yes.
Okay. If it has more than 5 ingredients, what is it?
It's a product.
It is not a food. It is a product.
It is.
Keep that in mind.
Great peppermint tea. That's also a great option. If you guys know how much we love coffee, and we're all coffee fanatics, but one of my favorite roasters right now is, I haven't been going to Starbucks as much, so we have a local roaster here in town I absolutely adore, and it's called Ingenious, and this is my favorite go-to right now. It's the holiday nut. He's got all kinds of flavors. He was a roaster for over 20 years, and
not a paid promotion.
No, it's not. It's not.
We just like
But
it.
I love his coffee. I know what he's doing. He knows what he's doing, and so he opened his own little coffee shop. So that's another thing I love.
So if you're making a little gift basket for somebody, here's a couple of things you can put in.
Element, y'all. Every morning, I put this in my coffee, or I should say, my husband. This is one of his ways of showing that he loves me. Is that I so appreciate is that he'll make my coffee to go in the morning. he'll put black coffee and put this chocolate element in it and a little heavy cream in there, stir it up, and that keeps me in intermittent fasting until I'm ready to eat. So this is what you could do. I mean, he could give me a bunch of these and I would be happy with that. There's all kinds of flavors. We pretty much right now have there was a spicy one. Which one did you get?
Chili lime.
Chili lime.
Not in coffee, in water.
Yeah. Now we do have the caramel chocolate, but my absolute go-to is the chocolate. I really like the chocolate salt. The other thing you could give me is chomps all day long.
Or any kind of clean beef stick.
Yes. So they have all kinds of flavors. The only two flavors that we really enjoy the most is the jalapeno and these. So that would be great.
Again, that's a product.
Yes.
Be aware, especially you see a lot on like the end caps, the stores. You see Jack Links and some of those others. Those have a lot of sugar. That's why we're not recommending those. If you're gonna do that, go with like a Chomps or something that has very few ingredients, very little to no sugar. Read the label.
And bacon chips. You can make me bacon chips anytime.
I tried, but I ate them all. You didn't get any.
I know. What am I going to do with him?
Who knows?
So, but
here's something that anyone can do. The gift that keeps giving: nature's fast food. An avocado.
Yes. And I tell you what, put this with bacon.
And a little bit of Redmond salt on it.
Little red pepper. It's good. It's really good. It's really good. So that's something I love. I love those. I can eat those all day long. So, but those are just some ideas. I hope those help. So
anyone else have any ideas or hacks that you've used in the past that have taken the edge off of the sweet and the candy and the grains and the starches?
I have a girlfriend that loves books. She absolutely loves books. Find her a good crime book that's true. That's her favorite. And her husband will go to a used bookstore and just say, "Hey, do you have any crime books?" And then he tries to remember what she has, and then he just gets her some crime books. That makes her happy. What about you, babe?
Well, I know people. My guess is that someone like a Mitzi Champion, you could give her a book or two and a ribeye, and she'd be happy and good to go. The whole point of this is that it doesn't have to be a heart-shaped box of sugar death. It doesn't have to be that. It's way more. It's about the interaction, the exchange of giving, and that expression. How it got to sweets and chocolates, I honestly don't know. I didn't get that deep in the History Channel deep dive, but chances are it comes all back to marketing and $1 and big food, and but that's just hearsay.
So tell us what people are saying.
Chocolate element with heavy whipping cream, large pat of butter, and hot water. Keto hot chocolate.
I need to try that.
That sounds amazing. Love them as a standalone dessert. Oh wow, I hadn't even thought of that.
So we'll have to try that. I do. Neil loves homemade whipping cream. So it's real simple. Take heavy cream, whip it until it's light and fluffy. Add a little bit of powdered sugar.
Powdered sugar? What?
Okay, it's keto friendly, and I don't put much in it, but I do put a little bit of vanilla extract in it, and then I put a little bit of the powder Lakanto.
Yeah, it's the Lakanto Confectioner's monk fruit.
Yeah, and just put a little bit, and then
not actual sugar.
No, so he's really happy with that, and he'll freeze it, and he'll eat it like it's ice cream. So that is one option.
And uh, the chocolate protein pudding made with boiled eggs.
Maria Emmerich's, I'm telling y'all, I was like, I'm not eating that. I'm not eating eggs like it's pudding. It is really good. And put a little espresso in it though.
Yeah, that's what
When
we
you do it, put a little espresso. It'll bring out the chocolate more. So you really cannot, you can't smell the eggs and you can't taste the eggs.
Hello, Betsy. Glad to see you here. Yeah, and see that's the if people are into chocolate for it's Valentine's Day after all, you can make that up like the day before, and it's a chocolate, and for us a chocolate espresso pudding. It's almost like a mousse. You make some of that homemade whipping cream with the monk fruit. You top it with that, and then if you really are wanting to live on the edge, you could put a couple of blueberries or something or a strawberry on it chopped up.
Yeah.
That would be great, babe. To go with my steak.
Pork belly.
Okay, that too. Why stop at one entree? But see, things like that where you can even get into a little bit of the traditional side of things. Just make sure that it's not going to derail you from your health goals. Understand this: we're not. You can do it. You can go get a box of what is it, Whitman's? The big family pack, and eat it all in one sitting if you want. That's up to you. You're a free moral agent. You can do whatever you want. I wouldn't suggest it. And of course, I like the comedian Jim Gaffigan. He says it's always you get the box of Gamble chocolate, and you hope that you get one. He's, I got the one that tastes like toothpaste. Let me try and find another one. It's you're rolling the dice with every one of them. Avoid that. Make it yourself. Make it for your significant other or your spouse, and not have to worry about it. So you can focus on not counting your macros. You can focus on that other person and get that oxytocin going, and just enjoy that time and not get so caught up with the hubbub. It's just we just came out of Christmas and everyone says, people are starting to lose the essence of what the holiday's all about. Yes, as a culture we are, and it's all about buy this and I love you this many dollars worth for Christmas. The same thing with Valentine's Day though. Well, I love you, not just Whitman's chocolate. I love you Godiva chocolate. I only love you Lintzworth. That's not the point. Oh, you gave me flowers. Oh, well, my husband gave me flowers at work. You're missing the point.
Well, and there's other ways, he loves brown butter bites.
Mm-hmm.
That he does. I've made homemade truffles. Those are a little bit of a work, but they're.
But I'm worth it, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, just checking.
Absolutely. So. Oh, that's wonderful. Yes. The books are the thing to go. Like my son and his wife, they love video games. So video games would be another alternative to working out together.
For that younger crowd.
We're not that old. Shh.
Okay, you're right.
We're not that old. I mean, we are, but not really.
Anyway. But yeah, so finding things that you can do. And again, this touches all of them. This touches the food that you put in your mouth. This touches your activity. If you're going to go out for a walk, if you park in a parking deck and you walk down, you'll walk to a restaurant, you're still getting some of that low intensity. You could go work out together, just the two of you.
Painting. You guys could do a painting. What was it? The couples painting that we did.
Yeah, there was like one of those, it's like a group painting class. You could do that.
And there are several artists out there that I know around the Asheville area where they'll do one-on-one. So it's more intimate. That's very sweet. So.
And you can go listen to some live music. I'm a fan of live music.
Jazz. He
Yeah.
loves his jazz.
But what does that do? When you're doing something that you enjoy, that brings your stress level down.
Mm-hmm.
You're not worried about having to impress somebody, and you can relax. Cortisol goes down, love goes up, and then that affects your mindset. So see, we're hitting on all cylinders here when you get the right mental shift, the right mental paradigm of it's not about quit focusing on the gift that I'm giving and just focus on the object of that gift. And it's going to hit everything. The mental, the behavioral, the spiritual, the physical, the food, all of it. We had a question here.
And I will say, one of the things that he knows that I love, in the morning, we do a devotion in the morning and talk about that.
Susanna's here. And we had a question here. Do you flavor your brown butter bites?
I do. Now, not always, but I found that one of our favorites is when I do the brown butter bites, as it's in the mold, I'll put a little salt on it, like the coarse salt, the Redmond's coarse salt, and put a little bit on that. My daughters like it when I do a little bit of vanilla extract in it, and that's it.
So that probably answers that question. Yes, you could flavor it with the flavored element.
You know what? That's a great idea. I'm going to try it. I don't know. I've never done it with that, but I'm sure it would be really good. Really, really good.
And the other thing that you do is sometimes you'll put, like in the center, you'll put like a single dark chocolate, like a 90% dark chocolate chip right in the middle.
I will say, just be careful when you do that. I like my teeth. So when it's frozen, it's a bit hard when you use that chocolate. And the other thing I put in it is bacon.
Oh yeah, bacon.
I have done the brown butter bites where I'll put chopped up bacon and one chocolate chip in it. So it's chocolate covered bacon. So, and that's something else he likes, is that when I cook a whole bacon strip and I dip it in chocolate, and I use this, was it 72%? 80%?
I think it was like 80 or 85.
It was up there, and I just melted it with a little bit of coconut oil and dipped the bacon and let it dry. Those were gone that night.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you do that every day?
No.
Do you do that every week?
No.
Do you do that every month?
No. I think it's been a couple months, 3 months. It's been a while.
Before Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
The point is, this is like a holiday exception, a special occasion, a Valentine's Day, an anniversary, a birthday. So yeah, don't miss the whole point of this. This is not a license to go off plan. Yes, special occasions, Betsy, you are correct. Because you've got your plan, you need to work your plan. But every now and then, yeah, you're allowed to enjoy some things. We're just trying to give you a couple, quick pointers on how to do that smartly.
Now, keep in mind, if you do go off track, just remember to forgive yourself and move forward. Listen, I can't tell you, in that almost 5 years, well, we've been doing this 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
In the 3 years that I have fallen off, and I'm just like, okay, I brush it off and I move on and move forward. So I don't continually punish myself. I accepted it. Or the other thing I do is, I know I'm going to eat this. I know this is not good for me, and I'm willing to accept the consequences of eating this. And that came from a really good friend of ours, Kevin, that had said that, this is poison to my body. I know it is, but I'm going to eat it. I'm willing to accept that consequence. So with that being said, it's a holiday. And you know what? I don't know about like y'all, but when I'm at work, we spread the treats and we share. And I try to bring stuff that I know that I can eat, but share the recipes that are a part of our lifestyle. Like just Friday, I brought meat sticks, pork style country style ribs with no bone, wrapped it in bacon, seasoned it with hickory red mint salt, took it into work. I only had one left when I got home, and I had a container full.
And that's rare because usually they're all gone.
Yes.
Now, when you
Usually.
do go off plan, it all works out because you forgive yourself. And then after about a week, I let her back in the house. Wah, wah, wah. Anyway, well, any other parting shots we can give these people to?
No, just remember that it's really hard to take an eating holiday. I have noticed, I was talking to a sister in Christ the other week. We were talking, and she lived in other countries, and she was like, I cannot believe how much people focus on all the holidays. They're all eating holidays. And where she traveled overseas, it wasn't all about food. It was more about talking and getting to know them and touching them and spending time with them and taking an interest in them. And that's just part of our culture here. So,
Choose not to participate.
yeah, I mean, if you participate, just bring what you can have or eat before you go.
Yeah, you can always eat before you go. That's always a good hack. Let me ask you this: there's a spouse that is not on a PhD with you, and they want to give you a box of chocolates. How do you handle that?
You could be appreciative and just say thank you. And if you feel like you're easily tempted, take it to work and share it with your coworkers or share it with your children if that's what you choose to do. But never I try not to. I know I probably have in my past, but I try not to knock a gift because it came from they were being genuine about it. Um, so with that being said, or say, you know what? Do you want one? I'll share with you, and then you could just give the rest away if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, and sometimes when you're brand new to this, let's say you were trying to do this, and I wasn't totally on board yet, and this is brand new. You've been doing it for a month and a half. It's our first Valentine's, and I'm on autopilot, and I give you some chocolates. Just be gracious and say thank you. Were you going to eat one? Not right now.
Yeah,
And if
absolutely.
you're in a party setting, you can always say no, thank you. I appreciate the thought, but no, thank you. You know what? We can give that to somebody else. You're always allowed to say that. No one's holding you hostage and going to force you to eat something that you don't want to eat.
Another thing you could say is if you're afraid to say no, you could say, you know what? I have some allergens and I don't know what's in it. I just prefer not to eat it. You could just say, I have some allergies and I'm not going to go there.
And just be appreciative because they meant well.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
anything else?
no. Happy Valentine's, babe.
Happy Valentine's, babe. I heart you.
I heart you too.
You complete me, tear. Anyway, guys, you got anything else? Type it in or we're going to sign off and go eat.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, any of you, to those that celebrate, hey, if you're having a Valentine's celebration, enjoy it. Don't make it about the gift. Make it about the person. Spend some time with them. Get to know them more deeply, more intimately, and just make the best use of the time. Make it quality time. And you got some things now. You got some tools in your tool bag to maybe alleviate some of the food issues. But just go have a good time, enjoy it, and we will talk to you soon. Love you guys.
Happy Valentine's Day.